You guys, welcome back to King Oles. Frank Martin has officially beaten Artem by unanimous decision, but I mean, that's not the greatest performance whatsoever by Frank Martin. Let's be real, it was an awful performance. He thinks he's able to compete with Tank, Shakhtar Stevenson, Haney, Garcia, that lot. He doesn't stand a chance at this point, to be honest with you, in his career at this moment in time after seeing that performance against Artem. I mean, fair play to Artem, he put up a good fight, and I've seen some people who actually had Artem win that fight. I personally edged it to Martin based on the knockdown and based on him probably taking round 10, 11, and 12. I mean, fair play to Martin though, because he needed to do something, and in the championship rounds, that's when he started to show go to a little bit more of his best. But those early to mid rounds for Martin, he was so sloppy. Even though he might have taken a few of them, he was ridiculously sloppy in that fight, to be completely honest with you. And you're not going to get away performing like that against someone like Tank, someone like Haney, someone like Garcia. Like, you're not going to get away with that. And Martin, I mean, fair play. Like, he clearly does have a good, solid mentality and good confidence in himself. So, fair play to him. He was able to, bring himself back when people were saying, oh yeah, he might be losing this fight, and then championship rounds, he comes and wins them, and also is able to score a knockdown in the final round, which, let's be real, basically won him the fight. But those early rounds and just the way that Frank Martin came out, he did not seem his normal self. But this was a bit more of a step up for him against Artem. But yeah, I feel like Martin did win the fight, barely though. And people were saying that Artem won. I I personally wouldn't say that Artem won the fight, but it was very close, and Frank Martin should have been running through that guy. Let's be real, in my opinion. If he wants to show that he's up there with the likes of Tank and stuff, then you've got to be running through that guy, and Frank Martin did not do that tonight. To be fair, so yeah, I'm pretty sure Frank Martin will be disappointed with his performance, and they are going to have to go back and look at a few things, to be honest with you, and see where they went wrong. But overall, he just seemed sloppy with his punches tonight. Seemed sloppy defensively at times in that fight. So yeah, he was getting hit with shots that he shouldn't have got hit with, and yeah, overall he didn't really show amazing levels of head movement in that fight, to be honest with you. His defense wasn't amazing, and we've seen his defense be a bit better when he's fighting lower ranked opponents. But now you're upping the levels a bit. He's kind of getting a little bit found out, a little bit more exposed now, and yeah, it's not great. It's not great. But Frank Martin, he did show that he always does, carry some good power, and he does have that dog in him. Of course, whenever he does need to slug out a win, he has it in him. To be fair, and that is an important thing. He has that dog in him to be able to slug out a win, and that is what he had to do tonight, because he was taken into some deep waters in those early to mid rounds. Let's be real, and he was able to pull it back, which he did. And yeah, people are saying Artem deserved the win. It was a very good performance from Artem, but he didn't win the fight. He didn't win the fight. Martin probably won that by around, I don't know, 2 to 3 rounds. I feel like the scorecards of that fight are probably fair enough. A unanimous decision is an interesting one, because I did think that a judge would probably give something to Artem, to be fair. But yeah, overall, Frank Martin is the deserved winner. But his performance shows that he's not at the levels that he thinks he's at. Simple. He's not at the levels that he believes that he's not at he's not at the levels he thinks he's at. He's overrated himself. And yeah, it's time to go back to the drawing board and rethink, because you were real sloppy tonight, mate. You were really, really, really sloppy. And against Tank performing like that, you're gonna get knocked out. Performing like that against Haney, you're gonna get easily outboxed. Performing like that against Garcia, you could get knocked out, to be fair. And that's what I think. It's gonna be really interesting to see what the next steps are for Frank Martin, to be honest with you. I mean, I would quite like to see Martin fight, Rolly Romero or something like that. Like, Rolly Romero, like, I feel like that'd be a good one. Because, first of all, I feel like Ryan Garcia run through Rolly. And, yeah, I feel like Frank Martin could, go down that route. I feel like it'd be a good fight. Because, Rolly was losing to the old guy last time out. And, yeah, I feel like Frank Martin and Rolly could be a decent fight, to be fair. Frank Martin against Hector Garcia or someone like that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what Frank Martin's next steps are. To be completely honest with you, but yeah, you don't want to. But yeah, you don't want to be challenging. Yeah, he's not ready. Let's be real. I think Haney might even stop him, to be fair, especially performing like that when you're like showing like no movement or not great defense whatsoever, to be fair. For all we know, like, it might have just been a bit of an off night for Frank Martin and, he's definitely got better up his sleeve or something like that. Like, it might have just been one of those nights where it's a bit of an off night and you're not yourself. Like, everyone has them, to be fair. Because in the past performances we've seen from Martin, he has... he has good, solid potential in it. But yeah, tonight he just didn't seem like the same guy. It might have just been an off night, or it might have been just because he took a step up. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what the future holds for him. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, King. I'll speak to you on the next one. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace out.